here again. I am going to be leading you through a handstand tutorial today. We did an L-shaped handstand, a pike handstand tutorial a few classes back. This time I'm going to be leading you up into bringing your feet up to the wall, or coming towards that. If you can already bring your feet up to the wall and do handstand, this is still a good tutorial for you to work a bit on your alignment and your strength, perhaps preparing you to bringing your feet away from the wall. We won't be doing that today, but this will help you build towards that. I am going to assume that you have already warmed up quite a bit here, because we're going to go pretty much straight into the nuts and bolts of this. I will be leading you through some wrist stretches and some nice chest and arm stretches. But if you have only just woken up, I would recommend that you do my sun salutation practice, which is just 15 minutes long, or go for a quick run and just warm your body up a little bit, get the circulation moving. And let's jump in. So I want you please to begin on hands and knees. Make sure that your index fingers are pointing forwards and that your fingers are not widely stretched apart, but that they're evenly separated. And really push down through the squidgy base of your thumbs. Now your knees are behind your wrists and your feet behind your knees, as if you were on train tracks. And push your hands into the floor, like you're pushing yourself away, like there's something that smells bad in between your hands. And then gently move your chest forward over your fingernails. So you're starting to begin a stretch into your forearms, and then come back. So a little bit of dynamic movement here. And then come forwards again. Try not to drop your face down to the floor, so keep your head up. And come back. So we've done two. We're going to do one more. Move your chest forward. And come back. Now walk your hands back a little closer to your knees and spin your fingers to the outside edges of your mat, so that then all your fingers are pointing towards your knees. So your middle fingers are south, pointing south. And then round your back again. And come down. Not round again, round your back. And then round your back, push down through the base of your thumb. Sorry, I've just taught a previous class, we did a lot of this action. So for you guys, it is the first time you're coming into this, and then come down. So again, the third time, a little bit of dynamic movement, round your back, bring your chin in towards your chest, and then come to a normal spine. Now, if you're finding that this stretch is, it's not really doing very much, you could stay here all day. Move your knees back a little bit. Otherwise, just keep your knees where they are and stay here. So no dynamic movement here. We're just going to keep the spine in its normal neutral space. But I want you here to press your knees towards each other. So your inner thighs are engaging. So you're doing a double whammy here. Wrist stretch, forearm stretch, as well as pressing your knees towards each other. If you find you can move back a little bit and increase the stretch in your wrists, be my guest. But please be aware of any past injuries you might have. Be gentle. Push down through the base of every knuckle, including your thumb knuckles. And then move your chest forward, spin your fingers back into their normal position, and come into puppy dog pose. So keep your legs as they are. Walk your hands more forward, so you feel like your arms are about 45 degrees. And again, fingers evenly separated, pushing down through the base of every knuckle, bring your forehead to the floor. I want you to keep your hands in this position, because this is what you'll be doing in handstand. So push your hands flat like pancakes. Keep your bottom up, press your tailbone down towards the backs of your knees, and again, press your knees towards each other, because when you're doing handstand, you're pressing your legs towards each other, so practice that here. Now as you stay here a little longer, again, press down through the base of every finger, and slightly raise your shoulders up towards the ceiling. And then release this. And come into normal downward facing dog. Again, check the position of your hands. Hands a little wider apart than they normally are in down dog. Make sure you haven't got one hand more forward than the other. Pick up your knees, press back. Now, feet nice and wide apart, and again, slightly press your feet towards each other, more than you normally do in down dog. Let your head hang, and look at the point in between your big toes as you press your chest a little bit more towards your thighs. So one of the big problems we have in handstands is shoulder flexibility. This is something I've really had to work on, and I'm still quite stiff. So you're really trying to bring your biceps
slightly behind your ears. If you don't know what that means, don't worry, it'll become clearer when we come into that more classic handstand position. And that'll actually become clearer in this next pose. So from here, let's come to that next pose. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Do this slowly, we're not in any hurry here. Bring your hands onto your hips, point your elbows to the ceiling and come up. Now, we're going to do chair pose, but using the wall. So stand about 1/2 meter away from the wall and bring your feet together. Bring your hands high up onto the wall, and again in that handstand position, so index fingers pointing up to the ceiling, fingers evenly separated, and then sit down into your chair pose. Now the closer your feet are to the wall, the deeper the stretch is. So if you're already quite flexible, you might be able to bring your feet a little closer, otherwise move your feet back. And look at the wall as you slide your hands down and sit down a little bit more with your bottom. This is forcing the parts of your arms that are closer to your ears back. 3, now press your hands to the wall, 2, 1, and then come all the way up. Bring your hands down by your sides. Do a couple of shoulder rolls back and a couple forwards. And then we're going to prepare now to use the wall. So make sure that your mat is actually touching the wall, the short edge of the mat, and that you don't have any furniture or people around you. Because when we kick up, if you've got a toddler moving behind you, it could get really nasty. So clear the family away, and then bring your knees down to the floor, and put your hands about a palm's length away from the wall. So you can actually measure this. Put your right palm to the wall, little finger edge touching the wall, and bring your right hand to the wall with the index finger pointing forwards. And then do the same thing on the other side. Okay, hands quite far apart from each other. Now, don't worry, we're not going to come into handstand now. We're just going to do a little bit of prep work. So from here, push down strongly through the base of your index fingers and your thumbs, and come into downward facing dog. Now bring your feet together and walk your feet about halfway up the mat. So you're doing a very short down dog. Then raise your right leg behind you and bring it down. Raise your left leg behind you, straight and strong, parallel to the floor, and bring it down. And then do it again on the right side. Right arm up, right leg up, sorry, bring it down. Left leg up, and keep drawing your shoulders onto your back. Don't let them drop or move towards the wall, and bring it down. And then one last time, that right leg comes up. Keep pressing your shoulders onto your rib cage. Bring the right leg down. Then the left leg comes up again, and then bring it down. Stay here. Now, bring the right leg up again, but bend the left knee. 3 little bunny hops. So pick up that left foot in little hops. Bring it down. We have to bring it down. Then pick up the left leg. That's it again, and come down. Now bring that right leg down. Pick the left leg up. Sorry guys, it's early in the morning here. Bend the right knee. And again, 3 little bunny hops. Up, up. Don't try and bring that foot to the wall, that left foot to the wall. All you're practicing now is strength work and sort of bravery work. So that's actually 4 on that side. Bring your left foot down and come into child's pose. So we're going to do child's pose in between all of these exercises. Bring your hands back to your feet, your palms facing up, because I want you to rest so that you can continue. If we went full pelt, you would be too tired to be able to focus on your alignment and keeping the integrity of the poses. So just rest for a few moments here. Keep your eyes open. It's also nice to lengthen out your lower back doing this. So breathe deeply. Let your heart rate slow, and then come all the way up. Good. So we've done bunny hops on one side and on the other side. We're going to do that again, this time a little bit more quickly. So place your hands, again, palms, about palm width away from the wall. Come into downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward. Raise your right leg. Squeeze your left leg strong. Now bend the left knee, 3 little bunny hops. This time maybe a little bit more of a hover. Bring the right leg down, pick up the left leg. Keep your elbows straight the whole time. Try not to let your elbows bend. 3, come down. Now, we're not going to rest quite yet. I'm going to give you the option to repeat that or to do scissor kicks, which is pick up the right leg and then do a bunny hop, but land with the right. So you're changing legs in space. Make sure that you land with a bent knee. Do 5 or 6 of these, or just continue with the one leg. Keep your abs really engaged here. And then come into child's pose again. Bring your hands back by the sides of your feet and rest. About 10 more seconds here. Really try and relax your arms, your shoulders, your abs. We really try and keep the abdominal muscles engaged whilst doing handstands to avoid the banana back. Ideally, in a handstand, your shoulders are stacked over your wrists, your hips are stacked over your shoulders, and your feet over your hips, so you're in a straight line. That takes a lot of flexibility, but also abdominal strength. And then come all the way up. So do keep pressing your ribs in towards your abdominal area so the abs stay engaged. Okay, we're going to take this one step further. We're going to do an L shaped. So from here, measuring the length of your legs, sit with your back to the wall. So you can see the length of your legs here. And then make a little mark, or at least keep a sort of visual marker of where your feet end. And then bring your hands to that point and maybe a couple of centimeters forwards, just a little bit more forgiving. Index fingers pointing forwards, fingers separated. Remember the pancakes, push down through the base of your thumbs and come into downward facing dog with your heels to the wall. Then from here, with straight elbows all the time, slowly walk your feet up the wall. Now it's easier to bring your feet quite high, but try and bring your legs to parallel to the floor or the ceiling, and then press your chest towards the wall. Let your head hang. Really push down through the base of your fingers. 3, squeeze your legs, feet apart. 2, press your legs towards each other. 1, then come all the way down. Come into child's pose. Palms face up by the sides of your feet and rest. And then come up to seated position. Now you can repeat the L-shaped handstand and pause this if you want. But I want to move on to the next possibility. So we're going to do the first thing that we did of picking up one leg and bringing it down. But we're going to maybe bring it up a little bit closer towards the wall. So bring your index fingers again, pointing forwards. Make sure that there is a bit of a gap, not too much of a gap, in between your fingers and the wall. Too much of a gap will mean that you really do banana your back when you come up. Downward facing dog, feet together, walk your feet forward about halfway. Bend both of your knees, straighten both of your elbows. Pick up the right leg about parallel to the floor. And then again, on one side, do 2 or 3 bunny hops. This time, you might find you can hover a little bit more, that you can keep both feet off the floor a little bit longer. And you might find that you bring your heel and both heels to the wall. If not, don't worry, just do one side and then come into child's pose. If you're up, squeeze your legs really strongly and push your heels, walk your heels up towards the ceiling and push your hands down into the floor. Squeeze your legs together, push your tailbone up towards your heels and then come down. And then everyone is in child's pose. So if you're doing the L shape, make sure that now you're resting. Handstands are quite tiring. you may have noticed. So you need to rest in between each one, otherwise you're going to fatigue and start bending your elbows and messing things up. And then come all the way up. Now, it's important to practice the kick up with both legs. You're going to find that one side is much more dominant than the other. This might be the side. So from here, place your hands well again. Get the setup, get the foundation good. Your hands are now your feet, so your hands are not used to carrying so much weight. Be kind to them. Bring your feet together, walk your feet forward, pick up your left leg, and then bend the knee, or pick up the other leg, whichever the other leg is, and then again, a couple of little bunny hops. And maybe this time you can keep your feet up more, so keep the abs engaged, play around with staying in space a little longer, and possibly the feet will come up. Squeeze your legs, look across the room, and walk your heels up towards the ceiling as you push your hands down, as if there was something really stinky on the mat and you're really trying to bring your nose up away. Squeeze your legs, press your tailbone up towards your heel, squeeze your bottom, and then come down, come into child's pose. Bring your hands by the sides of your feet and rest. And then press the tops of your feet down into the floor, come all the way up. If you've got the energy, practice any of those stages again. So the one leg little bunny hops, or the scissor kicks, or bringing the legs up off the floor for a little longer, and possibly at some point bringing your heels to the wall, squeezing your legs together, and really getting long in that handstand. So come back to this time and time again, and you will find that that handstand gets more accessible as you open up your shoulders more, you get the strength, and you get the confidence, because it's quite scary. So little baby steps, take your time, and enjoy. This is a fun pose, Adho Mukha Vrksasana. It's actually upside down tree pose. So take care, guys. Thank you for practicing with me. Please leave any comments or questions in the comment section below. Give me a thumbs up. You might even feel in a need to give a donation. Please feel free to do that too. And remember to subscribe. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye. Namaste.